Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NDA Podcast. I'm Gronk, joined by Kevin, and today we are going over the last week of the NDA regular season. We've had some people miss playoffs, some people make playoffs, some ups and some downs, and we're going to cover everything that has to do with Week 10, as well as look into some of the play-in matches that will happen this week. There are 4 teams in play-ins right now. Everyone else has a bye, that being the top 6. And we'll get into who those people are in just a little while. But first, thank you, Kevin, for joining me.
I was going to start off by flaming Wex for not being here again, but I would say it's really not his fault this time for once.
Yeah, we agreed to 8 a.m. Eastern so that Wex could be available and free, but it slowly turned into 9:30 and Kevin had not awoken. So that's why our boy Wex isn't here, but it's fine. We move on without him. He left his predictions, so do we really need him for anything else? I don't know.
I was up early too, and it just, fell back asleep. Feels bad. 8 a.m.'s rough, dude. That's don't say we don't try to get everyone involved here, working with our fellow Irishmen.
But you did say you forgot we had actually scheduled.
Oh yeah, it was. I had
scheduled yesterday. Yeah,
my brain was all over the place yesterday after a series of traumatic events. So, we don't need to get into that though. We can get into of course, the first match of today.
You want to move on from like something that you fucked up with, and then you move on to your game.
Yeah. I don't think I fucked up. I did my tip. This is my curtain. I'm not curtain. That's the wrong word. This is just my calling at this point. To prep well, win the first game, throw the next 2. Not throw. All right. Swamp. God, these new coaches. Your boy played really well, and just fair play. Like, I had to adjust. So the lead was originally just go sand, but the Runa Regis made me kind of switch it up a bit, and so did he brought things that I just wasn't ready for, so I had to switch it up. I had to bring Mantine in the back for the Runa Regis, and basically I was able to kind of just stall a little bit with my steel spikes, my defense boosts, because I knew Runa Regis was going to be hitting from the physical side.
Hitting it from the back, yeah.
What? Huh?
What? Yeah, but Mantine was pretty clutch there, yeah.
Thank God I brought Mantine. If I didn't bring Mantine. I also highly regret not having Crunch on Tyranitar. That could have been pretty big.
Also, what does Topsy-Turvy even do? Is that a confusion thing or what?
So, no. It was actually such a good bring, dude. He's like... So, like I said, I was able to stall with all my defense boosts, right? Mm-hmm. If he clicks Topsy-Turvy, I go from +2 defense, or +3 defense, to -2 or -3. It flips your stats completely.
Oh, that would be no bueno.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
So, yeah, it was just such a good bring. Like he brought the right stuff. And I still played well, I think, even despite everything. At like game 2, I thought I was cruising. I took out literally everything next to Runa Regis. I didn't want Grapple Lock to get a coaching or get a close combat or topsy-turvy, like none of that. I didn't want any of that, so I just got rid of it. I was like, all right, I'm doing well. And Runa Regis just did way too much. I think he actually did get a coaching off, which kind of felt bad. That defense boost and offense support was actually pretty big. But I don't know. I don't know what I'd do differently.
I mean,
have any input? I don't know what I'd do differently to win this game. Like, I think I just needed a little bit more for the...
What you needed was Haze on Mantine. If you had run Haze...
I think I would have got rid of all my defense boosts. I guess it's very situational, but...
Yeah. But in this situation, it would have been really, like, solid for you if you did that. If you hazed them, and then he's sitting at the neutral attack, neutral defense, then you can just, sit there and do what you need to do.
At that point,
haze? I'm pretty sure. A lot of water types get haze.
Oh, it does. No, it does. Good.
Yeah. So that would have been like it's just like that one thing probably would have helped you to win. I don't know what your fourth move was. All I see is Scald, Air Slash, Protect, maybe a Wide Guard. I don't know.
Probably just Ice Beam. I think I just had coverage.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I had Ice Beam for. I don't even know. Maybe like a Roser. I don't even know. I think I probably just had coverage, which honestly I didn't even need Ice Beam, Water, and Flying was probably enough.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and then the last game, it's just
that was age.
You got lucky to get that far.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna Shell Smash, and I was like, I knew. So I was like, damn. He had the same lead 2 games in a row. He finally got the Runerigus to win. I was like, do I try and counter it better by leading Mantine, or do I just go to stick to the original, expect him to switch? And he fucking switched. And I think if I led my normal lead, I would have been fine in a much better position. Anyway, but I led the Mantine Liepard and it just didn't do enough. Like, I knew he was going to Shell Smash, so I faked out that spot. Like, turn 1 went alright, but he was still kind of able to get it off, and the Parahacks really came a long way. Gave me a chance, but it just wasn't enough. I kind of had to let Blastoise sit there, and eventually it did get through, and it got me. But, we should move. I definitely could have played better. Be interesting to see. We'll talk about it later, obviously, how play-ins affect the bracket and stuff, but it'll be interesting to see if I come up against him again later, what I do differently. I think I have an idea of what I can do, so.
Yeah. Well, that being said, we can move on to our next game. For Week 10, we had the Linster Leafeons versus BC Butterfrees. We have Wex versus Mac. That game happened. It was the last game of the week. It happened on a Monday, which was yesterday for us, but I don't know when this is going to be getting out. And yeah, I mean, Wex just he didn't max Arcanine, which, I mean, kudos to him, because
that's definitely why Mac lost, because he just honed in on Wex's usual only strat.
Yeah, max Arcanine, hope for the best. Which, to be fair, I mean, it works pretty nicely, especially recently, but yeah, no, I mean, the Trick Room just wasn't doing it for Mac. It just wasn't. Didn't have enough damage, especially with the lead that he wanted to use, the Orbeetle Clefairy, and then the Snorlax just couldn't get going the way he wanted it to.
I'd say ideally with the Orbeetle Clefairy lead, you want Clefairy to die.
Yeah.
As much as it is an asset, you want that free switch in next to Orbeetle, so Orbeetle can help in hand or, stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like if it wasn't Focus Sash, if you just let it be, Babiri or maybe a red card or something, something hits you and it's just get out of here, that sort of thing. That might have been even a little bit better. So that way you still get to Follow Me, you get the Trick Room, and then Orbeetle can sit there, like you said, and click Helping Hand to maybe a Colossal that could have really went off and could have really benefited from being in Trick Room. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Resist Berry on Duraludon really helped as well. Shuka Berry came into play a decent bit, helped it live longer. Mac was able to dwindle it down a little bit, but I think Wex just had too much momentum from the start. I think Drapion and Duraludon really sat there too long, and Drapion was a good bring, I think, to deal with the Clefairy, and it was Drapion, if he didn't bring Clefairy, this lead would have been interesting, but Drapion and Duraludon was the ultimate Clefairy counter, and that's what he went for, so just kind of feels bad for Mac.
Yeah. And Mac tried to switch it up by going Morgrim instead, so he could fake out and avoid taking some damage. Because obviously Duraludon, if it wants to hit Orbeetle, it can just do so. It's stalwart. So the redirection doesn't really matter to it. But still, I mean, it just didn't work the way he wanted it to, unfortunately. He kind of got himself into the same position as last time, but this time around, Mac I think he just got really unlucky with the rolls and the heat wave misses, and just everything was just not really going his way. Like Drapion lived on 1 HP from a meteor beam from Colossal, which then allowed Colossal to take 41% from a Stomping Tantrum, which probably means it lives the next turn. And then also Duraludon lives on 2%. And then the Heat Wave misses on the Drapion. I mean, it's just there's a list of different things going on.
So bad. I mean, not to say that Wex couldn't still have won, but
it didn't make it any easier. It's not any easier.
That Heat Wave miss, and you just see them on 1% and 2% is just it hurts the soul.
Yeah, it's pain. It is pain because let's just say hypothetically that Drapion just dies straight up to the Meteor Beam. Well, now you have to send in either Arcanine or Girder. And then you can, since you know Duraludon is Shuka Berry, you're still in Trick Room. You can hit into the Arcanine pretty hard, and not have any like fear. And you could probably double into it or something, like in case it wanted to protect. It's just you could have done a lot more. I think the Girder in the back still would have been a pretty big issue.
Yeah, he would have had a turn of Trick Room as well to hit the Arcanine and Girder. Like I know the Orbeetle had Expanding Force, that would have did pretty well.
I mean, Girder has Stone Edge, but Orbeetle is so strong physically.
Yeah,
it's not the strongest move ever on it, especially because it's not Stab and it's from Girder, not the fully evolved Conkeldurr. Yeah, I think Matt got unlucky in the second game. I think he takes it and sends it to a game 3, but either way, Wex won, so GG's to him.
He took it like such a champ too. He was like, "That's the risk of 90% moves. Well played." What a guy. We love Mac.
Yeah. So and thankfully he's still in a spot to be in playoffs. So this loss doesn't really matter too much.
Not too much.
If he were to have won, it would have been you with the last playing game. So that would have been you. Would have been
we're still the same record, so like we're not gonna act like I'm that far above him. Let's be honest. We're still kind of we got the same record. We're still kind of at the same spot.
Both
the only thing different is we got different opponents this week, but that would have happened anyway. So regardless,
yeah.
Moving on to your game, sir. That was a bit of a crazy one, but crazy, but weird, but kind of still comfortable.
Yeah, I would say for me, I was pretty comfortable the entire time, which might sound cocky to say, but I had a lot of, because when it came down to it, each time it was Wobbuffet in the back trying to clutch up, and you know it can't. So either way, I was just like, okay, this is fine. Like first game, I was able to get a light screen and shell smash with my white herb. So I was sitting fairly nicely, even though I was drowsied by the yawn from Orient Guru. I knew in the back I had my Delmise, which is going to do a shit ton of damage, and with the light screen up, I wasn't really concerned about the Inteleon G-Max there. The only problem would be if it crit with the Max Hailstorm, which it didn't, so thank God. And then Mawile in the back as well was interesting. The double crunch and the Turtonator was pretty cool. The Instruct, but Heat Wave does damage, and luckily I had enough special attack invest to one-shot the Mawile from where it was at. And meanwhile, I still have my Shell Smash Blastoise just sitting there. So when Wobbuffet actually comes in for game 1 for its first showing, I wasn't too... I mean, it really just... It couldn't kill me. Or at least beat me in that scenario. It did take down, too, with a Miracoat and a Destiny Bond. A Custap Berry Destiny Bond was pretty cool.
That was really cool. Just like... Not that it mattered, but it was just cool.
Yeah. I know Griffin was saying afterwards that he wanted to... Like, he knew, like, there's a great chance of him, like, in that situation to lose, so he just wanted to be a neutral lose. Like, it's 4-4, 4-4, but he loses. He thought that would be pretty cool, which I agree. I mean, at this point, he's not really playing for anything.
Last game of the season, he was eliminated. Might as well.
So yeah, exactly. You might as well try something out. Actually, though, if he did, so at this point he didn't know. Actually, no. Yeah, he was eliminated. It was mathematical. Yeah,
Yeah,
because even if he won,
even if he won
first.
8-0, Will lost 0-8, he's still.
Yeah, it's just.
And then like if Gummy won as well, like he'd be in trouble. So it's like,
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, but that was game 1. Game 2, I felt comfortable leading Turtonator here, which I really didn't prep for, but I kind of just threw him on. Was just like, yeah, I mean, I'll probably try to bring it this
You've
time.
been throwing disrespect to Turt's way all season, man.
I know. I'm just not the biggest fan of Turtonator. I think he can be kind of problematic, but in this scenario, he wasn't. He was actually pretty good. So initially, I thought it was gonna be a white herb. Hold on. I thought it was going to be a white herb Poltergeist. So my idea was, okay, I'm going to charm it, proc the white herb. I know he's probably going to shell smash in this scenario. So if I just max Wormwind into the Poltergeist, it goes down. Not a problem. That was the idea. Turns out it was Focus Sash, so that put me in a less optimal position here. But I knew with Turtonator I had enough physical defense to live whatever was thrown my way. So I wasn't necessarily worried about it. From the Gyarados side of things, and I knew I could charm second turn and just really like do a lot of damage there. So, like I said, I wasn't really too concerned.
Max Dragon was really good here to just like that helped as well as much as the charm helped. Yeah,
and I had to sack the Blastoise here because I needed to bait him to go after the other threat, I guess. If he didn't and he went like Shadow Ball and a Turtonator, he might have killed me there. So I wanted to bait him into the Blastoise and just sack it, because then I knew I could just one-shot it from there. And then having this in the back,
low key, you baited the Blastoise, but you had Delmise in the back. You should have just swapped in the Delmise on the grass moves.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I should have, but if you went Shadow Ball just for the damage, like then I lose very valuable member, and Delmise, who can hit super hard into everything that he has in the back. Yeah. So I knew like Blastoise probably needed to go. But yeah.
Honestly, the best part about your team this whole season, in my opinion, the underrated tech that I feel like is overlooked, because we are playing early doors where there's no grassy terrain setters, but we are allowing tutor moves, and I just feel like setting grassy terrain and clicking Grassy Glide in the back is just so good, dude. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Such a strong move.
Yeah, because there is no like set grassy terrain. That's why I drafted Blastoise, because I knew that there would be less of a threat. Like I wouldn't have to worry about G-Max Rillaboom, regular Rillaboom, a Thwackey on another team. Like I wouldn't have to worry about these, grassy glide.
They're available. They're just, you can't click Grassy Glide.
Exactly. I don't have to worry about those sorts of Grassy Glide abusers, so I didn't think anyone was going to take them. No one ended up taking them, so that was good for me. And yeah, I just thought that having a strong water type that could be bulky, it could go physical, go special. Like this week I went physical Blastoise. I thought that it would be really good for my team. So yeah, 1-4-3-4-3, not too bad. Puts me in 4th. I didn't really move, but not a bad season on my end, I don't think. And not a bad season.
Arguably the better position to be in than 3rd.
Yeah, no, 3rd place, probably not the better side of the bracket, I'll be honest. I was still hoping for Wex to lose so I could finish 3rd, but honestly, my side of the bracket, I'm more looking forward to than the other.
Because Ryder's on the other side.
yeah, he's my kryptonite in the playoffs. Every time I play him in the playoffs, I lose. Unless it's the final, and then I win. I'm 1-0 in the final against Ryder. But, yeah. So that was that game. We can move on. We have Germ versus Swamp. And, I mean, there's not really much to say other than a Swamp Stomp.
That's really what this was. That. Look at you.
It was a Swamp Stomp. That's what it was. I mean, 4-1, 4-0. Or 4-0, 4-1.
Yeah. We've been seeing all season, Germ kind of struggles to stop Trick Room. The Claydol was the adjustment. But unfortunately, even like the Air/Togekiss flinch doesn't even help here because Copycat Trick Room kind of went ham.
Yeah.
It's German. Like even in prison, game 2 can't stop copycat trick room. Apparently, that was a cool gimmick that I didn't understand how that. I didn't know how that worked before, but seeing that was really cool. And yet, I mean, Durant obviously looks good in this matchup, but once Trick Room's up, Hatterene can click Mystical Fire or Max Flare from the Mystical Fire, and it's GG's. It's unfortunate.
And because he decided he wanted to click Trick Room, especially specifically in Game 1, Purloin can just use the Clay Doll's Trick Room against it. Click Copycat Trick Room and have it set up again. So, I mean, either way, by having and clicking Trick Room, it was kind of just going to be rough. I think the lack of a fake out mon on the team here is kind of why we see him struggle a little bit. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he still beat the number 1 team in the league. So is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? I don't know. I mean, he's the only
My
one
dog
to
is
beat you.
barking, so I'm trying not to talk that much. But
yeah.
Carry on.
He beat you, boy.
Give us a little.
Being the only person.
On my cat.
Yeah, I got you. Listen. Beat your boy. You beat the best team in this regular. We'll see what happens in playoffs. But you beat the best team in the league. So, even though you still beat the best team in the league. So, you're not actually last. You're first. Because if you can beat the best team in the league, you're the best team in the league. So I appreciate you nerfing yourself against several other opponents to allow that to happen. We appreciate your sacrifice. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, Swamp Stomp for this game at least. And that ends Germ's season, 2-8, 7 points. Unfortunately, last place in the league. Swamp is able to move up to 5-5 and vie for some very valuable positioning. Because he won in the manner that he did, he was able to move up to 6th place and avoid play-in games. So that is something that provided a lot of value for Swamp here, being able to win in the fashion that he did. So yeah, GG's to Swamp. Thank you to Germ. Thank you for the Ninjask Nation. I know Wex probably wants me to say that. But yeah.
There'll be a little edit of Ninjask Nation here.
Yeah. Probably like Ninjask sitting sadly on a toilet somewhere, just like a game over screen.
Yeah. Germ had some exciting matches this season, some really good, fun matches. Like, we can't forget throwback to Attract, Ninetales, Vulpix week 1. Germ had some amazing moments across the season. A lot of game 3s that didn't go his way, and honestly, finishing at the bottom of this season is really not that bad of a like we said. This season was so competitive, and like you said, Germ beat literally the top team in the league. Like, a lot of matches could have gone either way this season. So, like, Ninjask Nation is strong regardless of what the table says.
And if you don't draft Ninjask next season, I don't know, bud. It better be in the next game. I don't even know if it is.
As of now, I don't believe it is. But that doesn't mean it can't be revealed later.
I mean,
so who knows?
I'm
praying it's not in the game, because Terra type Ninja sounds like the worst thing in the world. So, praying for no Ninjask Nation. But yeah. What we got next, Justin? Who's up next? Let me add it to the notes.
Next we have Will versus Ryder. This is a big game for Will. He's trying to...
I would love to take the lead on this.
Go for it.
Basically, we finished the podcast. Well, not even... We finished the podcast last week with Will. And we're like, hey, yo. Will's like, you want to run some prep? So, Thursday night, I get home from work. And we get in the lab. We kind of were already brainstorming a little bit throughout the week, but we hop in the lab. Will needs at least a game. We were just kind of come up with a strategy to give Will at least one win to secure playoffs. And it went a lot better than we could have ever imagined. So basically, my thought process is Ninetales kind of goes crazy, and Dragapult kind of goes crazy. Those are his, big things. But you see Dragapult and Milotic as well. Whimsicott, great matchup. Honestly, we've seen all season how these support fairy Pokemon kind of go hard in the Riders team offensively. So the plan was Tailwind and Sunny Day Prankster Whimsicott, just the same, just so it gets rid of Hail, and Tailwind, he can control speed, because we were Choice Scarf Cloyster. I say we, like, this was the prep we did, so if I say we, Will's team. Will did most of the work. I don't want to take any credit.
I mean, he was the one playing the match.
Exactly. He's the one that dethroned Ryder from... Not dethroned, Ryder already lost once this season, but, the Choice Scarf Cloyster with Skill Link outsped Ninetales, and with I think 90, it was kind of funny. I think we did the calc, and it was like 97% of the time Rock Blast killed, and we were running prep, and 2 times in a row it didn't kill the Ninetales. He got like three or four low rolls on the Rock Blast in a row, and it was so funny. He was like, "Are we for real? This doesn't kill?" And we did the calc, and he was just getting so unlucky. But so yeah, Skill Link Rock Blast Cloyster to take out the Ninetales before it could do anything, and Whimsicott, along with Sunny Day and Tailwind, had Expert Belt and was probably the prime max target if threatened with Energy Ball and Moonblast. Both did huge damage into Dragapult and Milotic, and if he was able to get up a Tailwind or anything first, Choice Scarf Cloyster actually needed the Tailwind to still outspeed Dragapult, and then with Tailwind, offensive Whimsicott could go ham into Dragapult as well. And, it did wonders. So I feel like the lead was I helped with the most. But Will, full credit to Will in the back, was AV Charizard and Defiant Obstagoon. So, like, if you wanted to do... Defiant was really prominent. It still kind of is prominent because all max moves, have some kind of secondary effect, and a lot of them drop stats. So, Defiant getting those with the drop stats, it really limits the max moves you want to click. And it also ignores the Prankster that Sableye wanted to do. So that was all Will bringing that in the back, and it did really well offensively into Ryder's team. And AV Charizard took like a max Hydro Pump from Dragapult. It only took like 50% or some shit like that. It was absolutely crazy. So full credits to Will, but just the lead worked wonders, and I was very proud. Very sad because Ryder is a friend, but I feel like everyone's a friend. And when Will reached out to run prep, and I was like, yeah, sure. So it feels bad to do Ryder like that, but at the same time, it's really awesome to see the prep just work wonders.
Yeah, it was very good prep. I mean, it's hard to beat Ryder, but let alone beat him in straight sets, 4-1, 4-1. I mean, that's even harder. So, I mean, Will's going to be a tough get in these playoffs coming up.
Don't remind me.
You may be facing them pretty soon, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. For now, let's move on to the next game of Week 10, our last week of this regular season. We have Riolu versus Gummy, and Gummy with some interesting stuff. I think that's a good way of putting it. Explosion Silvally to just nuke the entire field. Very interesting.
A strat that I feel like we've seen before.
I think, honestly, what Gummy should have done is he should have swapped. If he's running a ghost type, he should have swapped out that Hitmonchan and then clicked it. That might have been a little bit more optimal there.
For sure.
But,
he did have Dusknoir in the back.
Yeah. I mean, but it is Gummy. He is prone to these sorts of
I feel like he misclicked turn 1. Like, I don't know why he double protected.
I don't know. Psychic Terrain was up, so there wasn't really much else there. But yeah, I'm not really sure. But he almost brought it back though with the Trick Room Dusknoir. He was almost able to pull through, but it just didn't work out.
Clearly.
Yeah. He tried to I don't get it. Okay. I want to look at turn 5, game 1.
My thought process again before you get into turn 5. Gummy needed to win 2-0, right? Explosion is a very niche strat, but I feel like when you need a 2-0 win,
you don't run Explosion.
Why would you take out your own? I feel like you need all the advantages you can get, and eliminating your own Pokemon off the rip feels bad, in my opinion.
Well, Gummy was already mathematically eliminated.
I guess by this, I don't know if he had already prepped or not, like if he already had the team built, but yeah, Will and Ryder played early, and once Will won, Gummy was eliminated. That is a fair
Wait,
point.
so Will was at 4 and 5 with 11 points. I think Will and Ryder played earlier than they did, so at this point it didn't really matter.
Yeah, if Gummy won 2-0 and Ryder won 2-0, Gummy was in and Will was out. But Ryder and Will had played early, so at this point Gummy was mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, because because Will and Ryder played first. They were the first 2 teams to play. So at this point, Gummy's already out, so screw it. But let's go into turn 5 here, because I think this is probably Gummy's worst turn he's had in a very long time. You have Max Torkoal, right? And here's the funny part. He didn't see that it was Air Balloon Salazzle. So he hits Max Quake. Doesn't do anything. And then here's the kicker. He's slower with Dusknoir, but he doesn't see that Psychic Seed was already used on Hawlucha, so he tries to use Poltergeist to hit the Hawlucha. Obviously it doesn't work, because there's no item held. So he just doesn't do anything. I feel like that's a bit of an oversight here. I think if he really wanted to try and win, he would have had Torkoal speed creep the Dusknoir, have that be min speed. Because obviously Riolu's team doesn't really appreciate the Trick Room option here. So I think if he did that and then had Torkoal be just a tad, like 46 speed, had Dusknoir be 45 speed, then he could have 2-shot the Salazzle there, and then from there had worked out, maybe eked out a win. Because he still had Trick Room up. But that's not what happened, and unfortunately he lost that game because it just severely misplaying the situation.
Yeah. I was playing in a tournament this past day, and my opponent, I think he missed something that I had Tailwind up or something. And I think, like, obviously it's not like I can't not blame him for missing Tailwind. Like, Gummy clearly just missed it was Balloon. But I do want to comment on, like, Showdown. I hate playing on Showdown. I feel like it's really easy to miss some things. Like, I don't know. Sometimes, like, when I miss Terrain being up because, like in this case, you can't even see Psychic Terrain on the field because Trick Room's up and it, like, the room has, like, weird dimensions.
It'll do that with other terrains as well, yeah.
Yeah, like, on the Switch, like on console, that you can see the terrain at all times. Like they have like you can check how many turns of Trick Room are still there. Like, I don't know, just being not able to see it, I think is huge. But like maybe his big ass turtle on the field was like blocking where it said Balloon, or I don't know. But he definitely should have saw it. I mean, it's in the text as well. But yeah, I do have some empathy for missing things on Showdown. It is kind of rough sometimes.
And, you know, Quartz will let you know as well. You just got to read the text sometimes. You got to read the chat. You got to see what's going on.
We will get into that momentarily.
Oh, we're going to get into it right now because...
Oh, that's fine.
That's the last game.
Gummy, you missed the playoffs. I mean, you played good, dude. Don't be too hard on yourself. You gave me a run for my money, that's for damn sure. It just came up a little short, a little too late. Let's, again, don't be too hard on yourself. You had a good season. Yeah. It's the most competitive season ever. We're going to keep saying that, so...
I mean, it definitely is, for sure. But let's move from there onto Mao versus Quartz. Now, I feel like Quartz brought a really good team this week. I love Quartz's team. I love the soundproof on Mr. Mime, setting up the light screen to mitigate damage. I thought everything was going smooth. I thought this was going to be Quartz's time to get back into the swing of things and really take control. And
you're not playing in play-ins.
Yeah, and just like avoid playing in planes, because who wants to play an extra game when you can get a bye week essentially?
Not me.
And game 1, I mean that's what I thought. I was like, okay, you watch that. He wins game 1 4-0, and just honestly just outplays Mao. I mean, it was a very good game on his part. The Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs just mitigates any sort of physical threat from the Ferrothorn side. And I mean, it was going really well. The only issue was, and he'll say it himself probably, he just didn't read the text. Yeah, and he was doing some plays that were just kind of frustrating to me. Like, you have up Misty Terrain and you're clicking Yawn. Misty Terrain blocks, at least for grounded Pokemon, any
was Trick Room up?
I don't believe it was.
No, it wasn't. So yeah, which means it was visible.
Yeah. So, and he's clicking Yawn into a grounded Mon and Passimian, thinking that it's gonna put him to sleep, and it doesn't. And that's the first time. And then the more frustrating thing is, like, I get it the first time, it's like, oh, made a mistake. You see it. The frustrating thing is he went for it again. He clicked Yawn again. And it's just like, you had the ingredients to do something here and get a 2-0 victory, avoid play-ins. And you kind of just, screwed the pooch here. I still think if he were to have maxed the Ferrothorn instead of the
Did he
Mr.
click Yawn
Mime,
again?
He did.
When? What turn? I'm on turn 3. Did he do a turn 4?
He did a turn 4. Yeah. He did it into the Rhydon slot. And Misty Terrain's still up, so like,
if he did it on the first turn, like, Misty Terrain still had 2 turns. So like, if it says 1 turn left, then I get it, but 2 turns left, it's not gonna go off next turn either.
No, it's not exactly. So it was just like frustrating to see that, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh man, come on. Yeah. So that was game 2, and then game 3. I mean, game 3 went a little bit better in terms of more optimal play, but
until he clicked Fake Out. I think that was probably just a misclick though, when like Mr. Mime had already been on the field for like a couple turns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what Mr. Mime would have did that could have maybe. I mean, it was close. Like Mr. Mime maybe chipped something down a little bit more. Like that could have mattered.
He could have clicked Light Screen to mitigate any special damage coming out, even though there wasn't going to be any more. He could have clicked. What was his other moves on this set? He had a Trick Room. He had a Trick Room. I know that.
And his attacking move was Dazzling Gleam. Oh, God.
He had Light Screen, Dazzling Gleam, Ally Switch, and I don't think he ever revealed that 4th move.
Fake
Honestly,
out.
though. Oh, a Fake Out. My bad. Fake Out. My bad. But yeah, it's just didn't work out for Quartz.
What we're trying to say is Quartz probably could have easily won this game. But I don't. We're just a little baffled at what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe we're being a little too harsh. Maybe even if he does the right plays, like he just clicks foul play on Umbreon and just chips it that way, or does different switches. Maybe he still loses game 2 and game 3. But just seeing that and just like, it's like, because it's been multiple weeks now where we've been like, we know Quartz can do much better than this, and it's just kind of like. And I hate harping on it and like saying it a bunch, but it's like, it is true. I mean, Quartz can be doing much better, and instead he's forgetting to read chat and forgetting, Misty Terrain, the Yawn is not going to work, like that sort of thing. So hopefully these games have awoken some more knowledge for him, and hopefully he can put together a good spree and hopefully make a good run in playoffs. That's the hope for everybody here. So.
I also want to say I think he still would have won game 3 if he had recovery on if he had Moonlight on Umbreon. I'm interested to see what the full moveset was, because he got it was a 1v1 between Umbreon and Rhydon, and if he had recovery, I think he wins easy. because of how bulky Umbreon is. So
Yeah, that's a good point. But
if he ran his silly Umbreon set as normal, I think he would have won. So
yeah, unfortunately though, not how it worked out, and that will conclude week 10.
Yeah, we can look over to our table.
Yeah.
Hopefully Wex flashes it on screen.
Hopefully.
I'm gonna leave a note for Wex. Put table on screen.
Yeah, I mean, this is how it all shaked out. We have our bottom 4 there. They will not be participating in the playoffs. And then the 4 above them, we have in order. We have Mac, Kevin, Will, and Quartz. Those 4 will be playing in our playing games. That will be the first week of playoffs. The top 6, those being in order from bottom to the top: Swamp, Riolu, myself, Gronk, Wex, Ryder, and your boy. Those 6 will have a bye week this first week. So everyone gets a bit of a reprieve here if you made a top 6. But the bottom 4 in playoffs, those people playing in the play-on games, those games are to be played this week. And here's the matchup. We have the 7 versus the 10 seed and the 8 versus the 9 seed. So 7 versus 10, that will be Quartz versus Mac. And then the 8 versus 9 will be you, Kevin, versus Will, which is a very interesting game. I'm very interested to see how that works. And I'm interested to see if Mac can beat Quartz here. I think he actually has a really good matchup for that. But we shall see. Maybe we see some Imprisoned Solosis, some Endeavor shenanigans. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that comes on. We'll see if Quartz can pull out some shenanigans that he typically likes to do.
And just to read, so the playoff matches that are already locked in. So the way it works is the 1 seed will play the lowest remaining seed from the play-ins. So if Mac beats Quartz, Mac automatically plays your boy, and then the winner of me and Will would play Ryder, and Ryder will play the highest remaining seed of the play-ins. So I hope that makes sense. And then, even though they have a bye, they could start prepping already because they already have their lock-ins, like locked-in playoff matches. We have the 3 seed versus the 6 seed, and the 4 seed versus the 5 seed. So just kind of reiterating that how the table will look after play-ins. So yeah, the prize of winning your play-in game is versus the 1 or 2 seed. So not an easy road to the championship for sure.
But
only one player has done it,
and that's the 2 seed.
Ryder is built different.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and if you want to, I messed that up, but you know what I mean. If you're gonna win, you got to beat everybody, and
you got to channel your inner Eli Manning in the New York Giants. You know, you scratch you scratch the wild card, right? You barely make it, and then you go all the way and beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. That's kind of what you got to do.
Or you do what the Eagles did, and
who cares about them?
I mean, we beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I would argue that was a more entertaining game.
Oh, maybe for the neutral. Maybe. I don't know. David Tyree's catch was kind of epic.
Yeah, but I think the offense that was provided in the Eagles versus
there was no defense in that game. It was a crazy shootout.
No, yeah, it was a fun game to watch. A really fun game to watch. Very happy about that outcome. But anyway, let's get back to Pokemon, which is what really matters in the world, right?
I'd say we go into the 7 versus 10 game first.
7 versus 10? Okay.
So we'll talk about my match first for one.
Yeah. We'll look into the Quartz versus Mac matchup here. And honestly, on paper, I think this is going to be a very tight bout.
The first thing I'm interested in seeing is, have they played each other already?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm going to scroll through the table, and you can look at the matchup real quick. Okay. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. So I think Ferrothorn probably does not look too great here. I think it's going to be hard to bring it knowing Colossal can be there. Having that fire type, especially one that's so frequently brought, isn't necessarily great for him, especially because it can run Flash Fire, right, on the Colossal and then mitigate anything Charizard really wants to do. So you have to go like a special Charizard with like ground coverage, something like that. One thing that we haven't seen a lot of, and I wish we'd see more of, is Togetic. How many times have we seen Quartz bring Togetic this season? I think that's an honest question here. Let me see. He's brought it 11 times, okay, to 11 different games. But in the last, In the last 6 weeks, so from week 4, he's only brought it 5 times. I think it's probably been a little underutilized, and I think it'd be nice to see it come out so it can support maybe a Max Diggersby, something like that. Something that's not going to be absolutely shredded by a spread move, like Charizard would. Maybe like a Ferrothorn next to it would probably be pretty good, because that could run some different things to affect different mons. So yeah, and that'll be a good answer into the Clefairy as well. So
I can confirm that they played week 6, and that was Quartz's last win of the season. It went to 3 games, and I would say the MVP for Quartz's win was possibly the Togetic.
Oh, nice.
So that is some solid analysis from your part without even seeing the last replays.
Yeah.
He had a different team. Like, he had Komo-o and Corviknight, so it'll be a whole new matchup for sure. But yeah, Quartz did win last time they played, so interesting to see.
Yeah. I think this matchup's gonna be pretty close. I think Mac with his better Trick Room setup here could be useful, but then again, Ferrothorn does underspeed that with the 20 speed. So does Solosis if he feels like bringing it to what seems to be a guaranteed Trick Room setup from the Maxter.
I would say Colossal goes absolutely insane here.
Yeah, but the only problem
is Togetic.
Because if you have Togetic and you set that up to next to a Diggersby, well, now you're in trouble because Diggersby can hit essentially everything on your team really hard with its huge power. So maybe a Seismitoad could be a very clutch brain with Mr. Mime Galar here. So I think the 6 that you probably see from Mac will be Clefairy, Snorlax, G-Max, Pelipper, Colossal, Mr. Mime Galar, and Seismitoad. I think that's probably going to be the 6 that he brings. I think he'll try to set up Trick Room with Mr. Mime. I think that'll probably be the way he wants to do things because, I mean, you need some sort of ice type for the Diggersby and Togetic. Especially since it gets freeze dry, it can hit into the Trevenant, it can hit into the Lapras, it can hit into Diggersby, Togetic. It could be pretty useful. I'm not too sure how Unburdened Driftbloom does here, per se. I don't think it does too much, so that's why I don't think it's going to happen. But
I think it's not a good move this week.
I think the 6 that happens for that Quartz wants to bring is probably going to be top 4, and then pair that with a Trevenant, and honestly, there's not really a big electric threat, so no Manectric here, I don't think.
I think Umbreon is just too solid to not bring at this point.
I also believe that, but
if he goes Trick Room, he could go like Solosis and Ferrothorn underspeed Mac's entire team.
Mm-hmm. So maybe a Solosis instead of Umbreon could be something that we see. But
my thought process here is, if I was Mac, I would run something that gets Surf, and I would Choice Scarf that Pokemon that gets Surf. That way, redirection, you can't redirect Aqua Jet or anything, and you can set up the Colossal still. Well, that being said, if the redirection is next to a Diggersby and you hit the Togetic, I think you would still die to the Diggersby.
Yeah.
So it is tough, which is where Rain comes in. Maybe he does just go Rain, but then Ferrothorn. It's going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah, I mean, a Rindo Berry, and then you just hit it twice with like a Hydro Pump or a Max Geyser. I mean, that could be something that you look into. Maybe you set up some screens.
Yeah. Rain is Ferrothorn is usually used in Rain teams.
Screens, right? Pelipper gets Reflect, right?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Hold on, let me check. I think it gets Reflect. No, I lied. It gets no screens. Whoopsies. Don't listen to me. I lie.
Damn it, Justin.
Morgrim screens could be pretty good here, though. So I don't know. I think, given latest form, and obviously Mac's probably going to adjust from week 6, and the teams being a little bit different. I'm going to go Mac 2-1 in this one. What do you say?
Ooh. You know, I want to say that prime playoff Quirts will come back after a tough string of games. But I don't know if I can say that with confidence. I think I will join you in the 2-1 Mac prediction. I think it's going to be a really close game. I hope Mac has time to build a good team. And I think if he can deal with Ferrothorn, I think he has the better matchup. For sure.
Agreed. Well, the one person that doesn't agree with us is Wex. He has left his predictions. He says 2-1 Quartz, so we have a bit of a mixed opinion here on the panel.
It is a fair... I mean, like I said, it's going to be really close. So
yeah. So we'll see how this one shakes out. I'm looking forward to seeing that one, but more so I'm looking forward to seeing is Will versus Kevin. I'll get this out of the way right now. Wex isn't backing yet. He's backing Will.
He backs
2-1 Will. That's what he's saying.
He backs Will always.
Listen.
Never mind.
I don't want to say, because I am helping you prep, and then I'm helping you prep right after this. So I don't want to say too much as to what I think Will is going to be able to do good. I think he already knows what he wants to do. So I'll let him decide. But I'll just say this. I think the 2-1 Will estimate is not a bad estimate. I think that is a very, very fair thing to say. And we'll see how this shakes out when we start prepping and things like that, the ideas that I have. But, yeah. This is going to be a rough one for you, Kevin. I'm not going to lie. This is not a good matchup for you. I know it looks like it might be a great one because you have Sand against a Charizard Lucario. But at the end of the day, I don't think this one is, chalking up the way you might want it. I'm going to back you 2-1, but I would not be shocked if it ends up being 2-1 or even 2-0 Will. I think he definitely has a lot of avenues to work with his team that can mitigate or even counter your Sand strategy that is very apparent. So I'm going to say 2-1 you, but we'll see how
you don't really mean it.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can see it going the other way.
So, like you said, Sand does look really good here. It bodies almost all of his team. Minus the fact that he has exceptional speed / weather control with Whimsicott.
Mm-hmm.
If that stupid button clicking piece of shit wasn't there, it'd be a much better matchup.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, we gotta play it where it lies, as they say in Happy Gilmore. This Whimsicott is going to be there. I have to accept that. It's going to be a problem. Got to find an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I will not discuss what I am thinking is my answer live for the people. Because, again, don't know when this is getting out. Don't know if it'll be before or after we play. But that is, I could say that's the main goal of my prep, probably, is to find a way to deal with this stupid piece of cotton. I didn't do so well the first time, clearly. I mean, I did, and then until I didn't, because of Max Selgor, which I feel like Will might... he's nicknamed Selgor Kev's worst nightmare all season. I have a feeling he's going to bring it just to spite me. He also has the Swoobat trump card. Don't think I could kill Swoobat if I see it on the field. I might just have to forfeit. Can't do my buddy like that dirty. It's tough. Will's a good coach. He's a beat rider 2-0. He's got very unlucky all season, I would say. And to finish 5-5 with the luck he's faced is actually pretty impressive. We both changed our teams, so it's way different than how we played first week. I don't have a fish to just click buttons into his team like I thought I could week 1 until a Selgor busts out fucking energy ball But yeah,
Could happen. It could happen.
It could happen again this week. That 145 speed is not to be messed with. See, like, you would think sand is the advantage here, but like he could just change the weather and then I lose my speed advantage if I run sand rush, or he could just click tailwind and max my +2 speed with things that already outspeed Excadrill. So it's like, feels bad. I'll be excited to see what Will does. I mean, Will always have good matches in history. We come up against each other in the playoffs a lot, actually. This is not our first rodeo. So this is definitely going to be an exciting one. For the neutral, I imagine, like you said, Justin, you said you're very excited for this one. I imagine this will be a good game for everyone. So I will back myself, as we do. All of my games this year, but 2 of them, I think, went to 3 sets. So I feel like I just got to say 2-1 myself, and hopefully we don't bottle it like I do most weeks, where I win the first set and lose the next 2, which happened against Will week 1. So let's hope I don't fold, and we'll say 2-1 myself as well.
Yeah. So hopefully Wex has put up the playoff bracket in its entirety, so you can see how it shakes out.
And finally, before we do transition to the end, another table I would like to talk about that hopefully Wex shows everyone is the kill leaders. Now that the season's over, we are not adding to that table anymore. We have our final kills and moves all. I believe
and ally switches.
Yeah, and our ally switches. I believe it is completely updated. So we can flash to that real quick. And I feel like the Pokemon that we're going to see first, we don't really need to talk about that much. It's not that important, to be honest. It's just a fire dog. Do you care? I don't really care to talk about it. I think we can move on. Yeah. Okay.
Torkoal, number 2. This thing, I mean, Eruption's really good. Gummy is using it very well this entire season. So the fact that it's up here and he's not in playoffs, kind of a bummer. Just kind of a bummer. But yeah, he used it.
Even the Venusaur was pretty high, I think.
He brought it every single set. He brought those 2 every single time he played. And I just think maybe it just wasn't utilized as well, or maybe it was just countered a little too heavily. But Torkoal did go off. It did get 26 kills, being number 2 on the leaderboard. And yeah, we can move on to we could just list, like...
Alright, but jokes aside, Wex had 36 kills with Arcanine this season.
Yeah.
That's nutty.
We forgot the Arcanine does damage, and we just all expected it to be like supportive with like a Snarl or something.
I remember this series, specifically early Sword and Shield days, Arcanine was used on most teams because only because Incineroar wasn't a thing yet. So Intimidate and Snarl bulk is what Arcanine is known for. Apparently, Wex didn't get that memo and just maxed it every week.
Hey man, if it works, it works. I mean,
it do be working. 36 kills, 18 sets played, with a solid 2 kills per set played ratio. Among things that matter, that is definitely the highest.
Yeah, by far. I think the next highest is the number 4 slot, Grimmsnarl, with 1.643. And then everything else just doesn't even hold a candle to it. But yeah, so these are our kill leaders. Hopefully Wex has the KO leaderboard up on the screen. I'm proud of myself. I have 2 Mons up there. Sneakily, though, I also have another Mon that's kind of close up to the top in Aromatisse that surprisingly has been doing good for me.
It's 20.
33.
It's 33.
33. But it's a support Mon, so it's like you don't really expect it that much. I think
the unsung hero of the Blackwood Ball Toys.
Yeah, I think another thing you have to look at that's actually really good is Blossom. On 3 sets brought to, it went 9-7. It was brought to 3 different games, went 9-7. I think that's pretty insane.
That we can contribute that to your team, Justin, pretty highly.
Okay, well, listen, I don't know what to tell you. It's Ryder. It's hard. It's going to be a tough matchup regardless. But yeah, so that's the KO leaderboard though. That's what we see at the top, what we see being utilized the most. I think now we can flip over to the top KO attacks. We've been inputting this all season and keeping track of every single game, what has killed what, and what moves those were.
I'm not surprised by this list, but I am surprised on how high
Max Quake is compared to everything else.
Yeah, clears everything else. 47 KOs for Max Quake. I mean, that's a testament, and Steel Spike's number 2. That's just a testament to how the bulk of this defense boost and the special defense boost, how valuable those things are. Because even if you're not doing super effective damage with your max move, at least you're getting some sort of mitigation to whatever the opponent's using. So, obviously seeing a lot of that this season. And then Max Flare, we can attribute most of that to Arcanine.
Overgrowth is kind of surprising. Grass isn't usually the most offensive typing. So I guess that's just
because we have so many goddamn bulky water types in people's S tiers
that
people are just forced to click Overgrowth, especially with those people also having Lightning Rod support. You kind of forced to bring your grass Pokemon, so growth. That was just not English. Your grass Pokemon those weeks, so Max Overgrowth moving into 3rd, and
yeah,
that's pretty impressive to me. And even more impressive is Rock Slide finished 5th above a bunch of different Max moves.
I mean, it's a great spread move. I mean, that's for sure.
In 2017 or 18 VGC, I believe Wolfie did coin the phrase that Rock Slide is the best move in the game. The fact that it got 27 kills when we expect most max moves to just delete Pokemon is quite impressive. I would imagine if this was a non-max format, Rock Slide would totally be number 1 and have a few more kills.
Oh yeah, for sure. Same with Hyper Voice. I think that would probably be a little harder.
Shout out Germ and Vaporeon.
Oh yeah. I mean, no Sylveon throat spray shenanigans so much this season.
It was a thing, just no one drafted it.
Yeah. With the Pixelate Hyper Voice could have been a thing. Could have made that higher, but yeah, I mean, Hyper Voice being getting 20 KOs. I mean, I'm pretty surprised by that if I'm being honest. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways of people just dying.
Shout out Weather Damage for taking 11 bodies this year.
Yeah.
This season.
Shout out Miracle getting 1 kill.
Shout out Griff.
Yeah.
And let's quickly shout out the biggest scumbags of the season as we look to our ally switch table.
Oh God.
Wex was pretty upset not to be the biggest scumbag of the season, but
that goes to Griffin. The
Griffin is
Oranguru.
Officially the biggest scumbag. I mean, it's kind of poetic. Griffin and Oranguru, they're a tale for the ages, and they do top a chart. It's just unfortunately the fucking ally switch chart.
Yeah.
Clicked it 3 times against me, and then I lost. And then he clicked it 3 times against Justin, and Justin still won. So fuck
Felt
you.
different. Yeah, maybe just get a better team.
Did Griffin click it with anyone else across the season?
Let me see.
I don't believe any of those other mons are his. So I think it's just the Oranguru.
Yes.
Now, did anyone else beat him like coaching wise, or was it just Oranguru leading with 6? Wex only had 5. His only mon was Dugtrio. You had 3 with Dust. No, you don't have Dusknoir. I associate you with Dusknoir.
I had 1 with Aromatisse.
That was it.
And
kudos.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what? That round of applause for Justin for only clicking.
Thank you. I could have clicked it a bunch more times, but I chose not to.
Did anyone not click it this season? That's kind of like, can we?
What coach didn't?
Yeah. So.
Golurk is Swamp. Gorgeist is you. Clang is Mac. Dusknoir is Gummy.
Was it Mac? Did Mac click it with Clang?
Yeah, it was week 4.
I think Quartz had it then, no?
Was it Quartz?
I think Clang was a transaction.
All right, well, Quartz/Mac. We'll do that for now. Mr. Mime Galler is Mac, though. So regardless, Mac's on here. You're on here. Wex is on here. Ryder's on here. Griffin's on here. I'm on here. Germ's on here. I think Bronzong, is that your boy or is that Mac? Or Swamp?
Swamp.
Lunatone, I think, is Quartz.
Lunatone is Mao.
Mao. Mr. Mime is Quartz. Okay. So that leaves...
Your boy? Did your boy click it?
No, I don't think so. I think that leaves your boy. That leaves Riolu.
Will?
That leaves Will.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Round of applause for your boy Will and Riolu. Absolute outstanding gentlemen.
Great job, fellas. Appreciate the hard work you put in.
You are not scumbags.
Yeah. Well, that's all the stats we have to go over for the regular season for today, and that does end the podcast. Like I said, those 2 playing games will be played this week, and then everyone else who is in playoffs, top 6, will get a bye, so no one has to worry about playing games this week. But we look forward to those 2 games that are to be played, and that will dictate what happens for the last few seedings needed to be placed for play-ins.
Say a prayer for me.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for, obviously, next week. And the awards, which we just talked about all the stats, we will have some kind of awards podcast episode coming in the near future. So look forward to that.
I would not bank on it for being next week, but maybe in a week. I think the week before the last game of the season, the final. I think that would probably be suitable for...
Yeah, because we don't have much to talk about then, really.
Yeah. And we'll have a discussion in the chat for the server, whether or not we want to do it through Google Forms, or if you want us doing it. I think there was a good push to have a Google Forms set up.
Might do like a little hybrid. Like some of it might be us, some of it might be Google Forms.
Like we could
a lot
probably...
of the time we're just dictating it off stats. So like,
yeah.
I mean,
or just
maybe things that are more subjective. We could, like coach of the season, we could have a vote or something like that, where there's like a little more subjective.
I think the awards for like maybe like the top mons would be harder because there's multiple, but anything that goes to one specific coach or one specific mon, I think that could be more open-ended and allow more people to vote on that and what they think would be number one. I would like to make one rule that you can't vote for your own mon, so you have to pick someone else's from another team. That way, not everyone's like voting for their own, even though I don't think that's how it would happen. But we'll fix out and work out the...
Wex is just going to send his entire roster as his vote.
Basically. It's just going to be Arcanine. The best supportive mon, Arcanine. How is that supportive? Well, it's not allowing anything else to die. It's killing everything one shot.
It's supported by other mons by killing other things.
Yeah. That would be his reasoning.
That is a Wex type thing.
We'll work out the nooks and crannies of that. But be sure to stay tuned for that episode that will be coming out probably within the next 3 or so weeks. And with that being said, unless Kevin, you have anything else to add at the very end, that is all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for listening to the NDA podcast for the regular season. And we'll see you guys when we cover the play-in matches and the first round of the quarterfinals for the playoffs. So until then, see ya.
See you guys.
Thank you.